How's it going, everyone? It's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub, but please just call me Bailey, coming at you today with another GOAT format deck profile and replay. I've been on a real ritual kick lately after that Furikazen Doriado ritual deck. If you saw that on the channel, if not, go check it out. But been really liking rituals. They're fun. I like the ability to special summon monsters more so in this format than in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Where special summoning is basically the name of the game. It's not as common here, a lot more setting and normal summoning once per turn, and I really like the ritual mechanic. It's kind of fun in this old format. So, without any further ado, let's talk about the deck. Obviously, it's a Relinquished deck, so we're going to be running 3 Relinquished, 3 Black Illusion Ritual, and to facilitate the Ritual engine, 3 Manju of 10,000 hands. I'm only running Manju in this deck, no Senju, no Sonic Bird, because it's a light, which is going to be very important, as you'll see, or you can already see if we're looking at the screen. It's a light, really, really good, and it can get both spells and monsters. I find with a lot of the ritual decks that when I was testing out both the Doriado and this deck, as long as some others, running too many of the normal summon monsters, while it'll always be getting you pluses, sometimes you just are cloggy with them in the hand, and you don't want too many in the hand. So I'm only running 3, and it's actually worked very, very well in this deck. Because I have these cards to go along with it. I'm running 2 Tsukiyomi. So Manju is when this card is normal or flip summoned. So if you can get Manju to live 1 turn, then Tsukiyomi, you can get a +2 off of Manju. And it's a really, really thing. Basically, you can set up a Relinquished off of 1 Manju. If you can manage to do that, you're almost guaranteed to win the game, or at least set yourself up and kind of make a big swing into your advantage. 2 Magician of Faith, it's a great, great staple. I thought about maybe doing 1 Magical Merchant instead of 1 Magician of Faith. Both would get you a plus of a spell card or trap card. Only reason I actually have not done that is because I just don't want to end up milling Relinquished. That's one thing. Or some of the Chaos monsters, as you'll get to. You kind of want to be a little careful, and so I'm just going to run 2 Faith right now. It makes me a little bit more susceptible to a Nobleman of Crossout, but what can you do? Works great with Tsukiyomi, obviously being a flip effect monster. You all know if you play GOAT format. If you can flip Faith, get like Duo or Greed, and then Sook it, oh my god, it is a great play. Breaker the Magical Warrior, just a great one of a Dark Monster, 1900 Beater, 1600 Spell Remover, or Trap Remover, just good card, you gotta run it if you can fit it into the deck. And then for the Chaos Engine, 2 Chaos Sorcerer. I only like running 2 in most of my Chaos decks. 3, again, can get very cloggy. I try to do everything I can to avoid cloggy hands. I want each card in my hand to be active almost all the time, if not very soon after I draw it. 1 BLS, because if you're going to play Chaos, well, obviously you're going to play the 1 BLS. 3 Thunder Dragon. Well, you'd obviously have to run 3. You're never going to run 2 Thunder Dragon. It's just +1, discard, add 2. It's more light monsters. That was one thing. I mean, I had 3 Manju, 2 Magician of Faith, but if the Faith got Nobleman, the Thunder Dragon is a great card. Also, it works with the Relinquished, because Black Illusion Ritual. You don't need to do just a level 1 monster. You can do a level 5, and so just getting the +1, it can facilitate an extra ritual summon. Then we have Sangan. It can search out Manju, can search out Magician of Faith, Tsukiyomi, Relinquished. Great card, and it can also get Sinister Serpent. It's another fantastic card. You can fit it in the deck. It works great for fodder for Black Illusion Ritual. You can set it automatic +1 every turn. You guys know what Serpent does. We have Greed, Charity, Duo, Heavy, Snatch Steal, Premature Burial, MST, Staples. Gonna run them all, like every single one, almost every deck you play. 1 Book of Moon. I already have a lot of removal with this deck. Relinquished in itself is going to be removal. That's basically the name of the game with this deck, is using Relinquished as kind of like if it was a soul control format. Like that, every deck basically has a +1 advantage engine. A lot of times it's goats. Whatever it is, I use Relinquished, and it's really, really fun. So I don't need Book of Moon, because I don't need to be setting cards to get over them in battle, because I'm just going to be stealing them. Nobleman, only 1, again. I need taking monsters. I don't necessarily need to be banishing them, but you run 1 because you need to fill out the deck, and it's a great card. 2 Metamorphosis, and 3 Scapegoat. So Scapegoat, fantastic card. It works as fodder for Black Illusion Ritual and for Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis also works great with the Thunder Dragon, as you have access to Dark Balter. and good level 5s, level 6 with Chaos Sorcerer, level 8 with BLS, Metamorphosis, fantastic card. Scapegoat, obviously you guys know 1000 Eyes Restrict with the Tsukiyomi combos. Basically, I tried to incorporate a really good Chaos Suk Goat, kind of good stuff deck with a Relinquished engine thrown in. Finally, we have the 4 traps, Call, Mirror Force, Ring of Destruction, and Torrential Tribute. Just 4 great traps, why wouldn't you run them all? Quickly go over the extra deck. 3000 Eyes Restrict, 2 Ryu Senshi, Reaper of the Nightmare, Ojama King, 2 Gatling Dragon, Flame Ghost, Fiend Skull Dragon, Dark Fire Dragon, Dark Flare Knight, Dark Blade, and Dark Balter. The reason I'm running Dark Fire and Flame Ghost is because I have 2 Brain Control in the side deck. So sometimes when you steal the monster, you just want to get them off the field, and if you have a Metamorphosis, it very rarely comes up, but having access to get rid of basically removal with a Brain Control plus Metamorphosis can be powerful if you don't want them to get it back at the end phase, whatever monster you steal with Brain Control. We have 2 Deswombat because I hate burn, 2 Kaiku because this deck can be kind of susceptible to Chaos in itself. Relinquished can steal a monster and then they can just bring out Chaos Sorcerer or BLS and banish it right away with Prio. So sometimes you need to stop them from even bringing them out, and Kaiku is just a great 1800 powerful beater. Can banish cards from the graveyard. Good card. Again, most of you, it's GOAT format. These cards have been out for so long, you know what they do. Zaborg, one of. I can steal monsters. It's good pot. Brain Control works good. I put it in the side deck because it also can work with a Black Illusion Ritual. I can steal your monster and then tribute it off. I don't have Mind Control because it just says monsters cannot be tributed, not for just a tribute summon. So I cannot Mind Control and then tribute with Black Illusion Ritual, so I don't have any of those in the side deck. The third Metamorphosis, because sometimes you just run into those control matchups, or really aggressive matchups where you want to be as controlling as possible, and I can just put this in and get basically a crazy 3 Relinquished, 3000 Eyes Restrict in the same deck, and I'm just going to say it, if I'm doing that, you are almost never going to be flipping a monster on like a flip summon. I'll be stealing it beforehand. 1 Nobleman, a cross out in the side to go with the second in the main deck. Just if I see a lot of flip effects, I'll put this one in. Royal Decree, because if you're playing like Burn, I need to stop your traps. There it is. And 3 Dust Shoot. It's probably not the most optimal side deck, but it's the one I'm running with. Alright, I'm going to see you with the replay. So here's the replay. Obviously, I'm playing my Relinquished deck. My opponent is going to be playing a Soul Control deck. Let's get to it. So he wins the rock, paper, scissors, and chooses to go first. Opening hands. He has Spirit Reaper, Duo, Nobleman, Blowback Dragon, Mystic Tomato, and Mobius the Storm Monarch. Obviously, I don't know what he's playing at the moment. I have double Relinquished, kind of gross. Black Illusion Ritual, okay, so at least I have access to the Relinquished. Breaker the Magical Warrior, and Mystical Space Typhoon. So he duos right away. Kind of awful. He ends up hitting the, I believe, MST out of my hand, and I discard one of my Relinquished. Kind of annoying to have to show him what I'm playing, but I don't want to get rid of the Breaker because that's my only other form of spell and trap removal in my hand, and whatever else I show him is going to show him what I'm playing, Black Illusion Ritual or Relinquished, and so might as well get rid of the one that I have 2 of. He goes ahead and sets a card. It is Spirit Reaper. I draw a Thunder Dragon, so I just get the advantage right away. And figuring out what to do here, I think, though it's kind of neg, I don't know what he's playing, so I want to get off the field, and I just steal his Spirit Reaper. Can't attack, obviously. He goes ahead and sets a Mystic Tomato. I draw Manju, so I'm like, okay, pretty good. I just immediately get a plus. And if you don't know, I'll quickly read Relinquished, because I go to battle phase here. This is not like 1000 Eyes Restrict that stops me from attacking. You can ritual summon this card with Black Illusion Ritual. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card, max 1. This card's attack and defense become equal to that target's monster, just like 1000 Eyes Restrict. If this would be destroyed by battle, destroy the equipped monster instead. While equipped with the monster, any battle damage you take is effect damage to your opponent. So if you take 1200, they take 1200 right after. And it's pretty cool, but it doesn't stop your opponent's monster from attacking, so it's kind of like a 1000 Eyes Restrict that is more aggressive. And so you want to be playing this deck kind of quick-paced. You don't want to necessarily go slow like you would a true GOAT format with 1000 Eyes Restrict. So he, after I attack Mystic Tomato, summons Sangan. He Pot Greeds, Brain Controls, and steals my Relinquished, Blowback Dragon. And he goes ahead and I believe just gets 2 heads here. Accidentally summons a token. Alright, gets rid of my Manju and attacks for 3300. So I'm in a kind of bad position here. He doesn't set any back row, so Breaker does nothing. I do draw Pot of Greed, which is nice. He draws Pot of Greed, I draw Pot right after. So I'm basically thinking here my best shot is just going straight for the Chaos Sorcerer. I was trying to figure out what do I want to banish here. Sangan, obviously, I don't want it to get its effect, but Blowback Dragon, if I leave it on field, it can either attack. If I don't, if I put it in attack, it can attack into me, but he also has the ability to just use it for an effect. If you haven't seen my Dimension Gate Turbo Reasoning Gate deck video, go look that up because Blowback Dragon I picked as the MVP of the series. It was a great card. I love it in those kind of decks. Not so much in a Monarch deck, but when it sits on field like this, it forces you to make decisions because I can't let Chaos Sorc sit here because he could just get over it with a coin flip. So what do? I end up actually putting in defense mode and banishing Blowback Dragon. I don't think he's on a return deck. I've seen too little to make me think that he would be on that, though Blowback Dragon did kind of make me weary because why would you be running Blowback Dragon? But I think here, putting Chaos Sorcerer in defense so he can't do anything with Sangan, but unfortunately he Graceful Charities, and then he just sacks it for Mobius. I do chain Scapegoat, but he's able to get a Sangan Search anyways, and get over my Chaos Sorcerer. He gets a Magician of Faith, and he gets over the Chaos Sorc, and he sets a Royal Decree. I draw Duo here, so I go ahead and fire it off. I hit the Faith, and he sacks Mobius, so he has Parshath, Soul Exchange, and Scapegoat in hand. He sacks Mobius for Parshath, so he gets 1900 damage in and draws a card. I get Ring of Destruction here, so I just go ahead and run into that because I need to get it off the field. I can't let it get another attack off. I also had Ring of Destruction in hand, so I couldn't even ring it because I'm only at 1800. He end phases Royal Decrees, so my Ring of Destruction is now doing nothing, but he has no monsters to summon. So that's the part with Monarch decks, is sometimes he'll just have all these big level 5 and 6 monsters and no ways to actually summon them. It's not my favorite deck, but whatever. Graceful Charity. I draw Sangan, Faith, and Black Illusion Ritual, a second one. I discard my third Thunder Dragon and Black Illusion Ritual and just summon Sangan for Sangan Beats. He goes ahead and Scapegoats. Summons 3 because I would have attacked 1. He just passes turn. I get rid of another goat and set my Magician of Faith. He goes ahead and steals the Magician of Faith with a Metamorphosis of a Scapegoat token into 1000 Dice Restrict. I draw Tsukiyomi, pretty nice draw. Able to get over it, and his last token. Set Spirit Reaper. I Metamorphosis and steal the Spirit Reaper. Okay, and so this is where I should have played differently. Right here, I should have played safe. I should have stayed on this board for one turn. Actually, I can't attack with Sangang, but I should have just sat here, done nothing, but instead, I get a little aggressive and just want to make a bigger push, so I get over the ability of not attacking by summoning Tsukiyomi and setting my own 1000 Eyes Restrict that was summoned this turn, get in for 21. But unfortunately, he draws into Premature Burial, is able to bring back the Parshath, and get over my token, which wins the game. So if I had not set my own 1000 Eyes Restrict, he wouldn't have been able to do anything. He may have actually been able to bring back a card, tribute over with Jinzo, maybe the Sangan, and I'm not sure if he would have been able to do anything else, but the fact that he could attack here obviously lost me the game, so you live and you learn, but whatever. Game 2, I am going first, obviously. Opening hand is Manju, Scapegoat, Brain Control, Breaker, Nobleman, a Crossout, so opened up Breaker 2 games in a row. So I go ahead and summon Manju, get Black Illusion Ritual, and set Scapegoat. He duos. Can't remember what he hits here. He hits my Nobleman out of my hand, and I get rid of Breaker. I'm not sure. I really want the Manju in my hand because I just can get access to Relinquished turn 2. In Brain Control, I can steal your monster and then tribute it off for Relinquished, but we'll see what happens here. I go ahead and summon my second Manju. I drew a Relinquished, so I end up getting another Relinquished. I basically am like, I don't want to add another Black Illusion Ritual to hand, because then he'll probably know that I drew Relinquished, so I'm going to make him think that I have one that I had, but I actually have 2. And he goes ahead and goats, and I get rid of 2 tokens. He Metamorphoses and gets a 1000 Eyes Restrict. Steals a Manju, gets both Manjus off board. He goes on to sets his own 1000 Eyes Restrict. I Scapegoat on his Tsukiyomi. Attack, so I have 3 tokens. He steals a token. I don't know why he summons him. I don't get some people, so I give him a token. He summons another, and I'm like, you have to get rid of a token. Like, I give it to you. You don't steal another. It's weird, whatever. So he gets rid of the token. I draw another Tsukiyomi, get over 1,000 odds strict, have 2 tokens on board. He gets Faith, passes turn. I draw my own Faith. I go ahead and set it. He draws Heavy Storm. He soul exchanges my Faith and summons Blowback Dragon. He cannot attack this turn, so he just uses Blowback Dragon. And does he get a token? Heads. Tails. Heads. What do you guys think of Blowback Dragon? I believe it's personally not that great of a card in anything but the Reasoning Gate decks, but it is, again, I've said before, a really good way to, if it can stay on board, steal advantage. But right here, it actually works against him, because I can just steal his powerful star monster and get over it. He is Tsukiyomi, gets over my Relinquished. Suk goes back to hand. He only has a Royal Decree set. I draw Black Illusion Ritual. I've seen the Royal Decree, so I'm not really afraid of traps in this deck, so I just go ahead and special summon Chaos Sorcerer in attack mode. I know he might be able to steal it or do something with it. I did think about here, I've seen Brain Control, so I was like, do I Tsukiyomi and set it so he can't Brain Control? I chose not to, and of course he ends up drawing the Brain Control, and he just banishes my own Chaos Sorcerer and sets a Sinister Serpent. I go ahead and Nobleman the Sinister Serpent and Pot of Greed that I just drew. Draw 2 Scapegoats, that's not fantastic, set one of the Scapegoats. He sets Magician of Faith. I use Scapegoat. He just ends the game right there. Personally, I probably wouldn't have, but whatever. He was pretty behind an advantage, and frankly, he wasn't really going to do anything. That's the problem with Monarchs. You're pretty reliant on your opponent to set monsters and do that, and I'm playing an aggressive deck, so every time I'm summoning a monster or setting, I'm getting damage in, I'm doing something. He's playing a lot slower. So game 3, though, I am going second. Opening hand after he draws. He has Scapegoat, Jinzo, Metamorphosis, Zaborg, Premature Burial, Asura Priest. I have Metamorphosis, Heavy Storm, Thunder Dragon, Metamorphosis, Magician of Faith. I draw Sangan, so I discard Thunder Dragon, get 2 Thunder Dragons. Go ahead and summon Sangan for summon. Sangan beats 1,000 in, and I go ahead and set 1 Metamorphosis just as a bluff. He has Asura Priests. Runs into my Sangan. I go ahead and search Manju with 10,000 hands. He brings the Asura Priest back to hand. I summon Manju, get Black Illusion Ritual, and 1,400 to the face. He takes it. Main 2. I set the Heavy Storm because I don't want to discard, and I'm thinking maybe he'll set a couple more, and I can bluff with the Heavy Storm set. He has Asura Priests. And he brings it to hand, but then he realizes he actually has to set a card so he doesn't lose, and so he sets a card and then goes to end phase. He ends up setting the Premature Burial. So, I figure, you know what, I have another Metamorphosis in hand, even though I set 1, so I'll go ahead and Heavy Storm here. He does have Scapegoat, so it's a little bit of a punish. But I do get rid of the Premature Burial. I set my Magician of Faith and a Nobleman. He goes ahead and creature swaps a attack position Scapegoat token. So now he is my Magician of Faith, but he couldn't flip summon it because creature swap stops you from changing the position. So I go ahead and actually Metamorphosis his own goat token and take back my own Magician of Faith. And I learned my lesson here. I just pass turn. I'm not trying to do a Tsukiyomi cool cheeky play. I'm just going to sit here and sit on my own Magician of Faith and Nobleman. I was also thinking of maybe tributing and going for Dark Balter, but with 3 tokens on the field and a bunch of cards in hand, I figured he probably would have had a way to just steal the Dark Balter right away, so I did nothing. It actually would have been okay, because he would have had no way to get over it. He maybe could have probably set the Magician of Faith, but he can't tribute the tokens for anything. So Dark Balter would have been okay, because it could have negated the Metamorphosis, but whatever, I didn't want to take that risk. He steals his 1,000 Dice Restrict, or my 1,000 Dice Restrict with his own. I go ahead and summon Tsukiyomi and just get over it. He gets Parshath, hits me for 17 with Asura Priest. Oh, I actually realized here, so he added it back to hand, but he should have had to discard. Whatever. You live and you learn. Pot of Greed. I draw Manju and Scapegoat. Summon Manju. Add Relinquished. Get over 1 token and set Scapegoat and still have to discard, so I discard a Thunder Dragon. He goes and sets a Sangan. I flip the Nobleman that I had set for a while. Hit a Sangan, so that's a really good hit. Summon Tsukiyomi. So this is that play I was talking about. I had a Manju on board, summon Tsukiyomi, flip Manju back face up, and basically I've now gotten Relinquished and Black Illusion Ritual for free. And I hit for 14 because I got over his last token and attacked directly with Manju. got to set some cards out, because, like, I'm getting a lot of pluses. This is crazy. This is going back to hand, so I have to set something. Thunder Dragon discard and set the Metamorphosis. Tsukiyomi back to hand, so hand is relinquished, Tsukiyomi snatch, Black Illusion, Zaborg. He draws Soul Exchange, gets over my Manju with a Soul Exchange, but he cannot attack, summons Jinzo. End phase, I Scapegoat. Plan right here was Scapegoat. I could Snatch Steal, I could Tsukiyomi. I could do so much here, and he ends up quitting. So, this guy, maybe you could argue because it's the new format, he's just quitting when he really thinks game isn't going his way. I'd say he quit a little bit early. I mean, he's still on 4,200 life points. It would be a lot to OTK in this turn. Maybe could have done it, probably not, but whatever. Relinquished, you see how much pluses it can get to your hand, and it's really good for a Chaos Engine. Really, really fun. Probably not the best deck. I think, like, Chaos Warrior is still better, Chaos Turbo is still better. But if you're looking for something different, fun, especially early on in this new format as we're all reset with ratings, maybe this is for you. If you like the video, dislike the video, leave a dislike. I don't really care. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. I'm the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scrub, but call me Bailey. Goodbye.